Welcome to Larry's Topics, and today, I know it's close to the Christmas season. It's pretty much literally tomorrow, but we're going to step away from the holiday tidings of Yule, cheer, and whatnot, and we're going to indulge in a little hell raising, as it were, a little horror. Alright. I'm a fan of horror, don't get me wrong. Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, Pinhead. Those are my boys, man. I was torn through Freddy versus Jason. Either way, I rooted for both of them. I was either way it would have went, I would have felt bad and happy at the same time, because I love Freddy and Jason, But we're gonna step away from those for a moment because I want to focus on one character. Clive Barker calls him, or Barker, the creator of the Hellraiser franchise, the mastermind behind it. He, of course, refers to the character as the High Priest, and it was actually a joke on the set. One of the makeup crew called him Pinhead, and the name kind of stuck. Clyde Barker, or Baca, or whatever, didn't like it because it's not his name. But who would have thought just a joke would become such an iconic name, And of course, he's such an iconic and beloved character of horror, that actually it was cut from the movie, even though it was in the original script, because they couldn't get permission from Dimension Pictures to use him, because it actually was supposed to end with Pinhead stepping out. I guess didn't really say in the article, but I don't know. I think maybe a puzzle box falls off a shelf in one of the cabins or from somewhere and opens up, and Pinhead comes walking out, and he looks at Jason and Freddy and goes, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" But they couldn't get permission from Dimension, because that was actually what was supposed to launch the what they titled it for the moment, Hellraising Friday the 13th Nightmare on Halloween. Anyhow, back to Pinhead, because that's what the focus is. Doug Bradley. He is Pinhead. He owns the character, Other people may don the makeup and that, which is part of what this is. Well, this is mainly what it's about, but you ask true horror fans, who's Doug Bradley? And if they're true horror fans, they'll be like, well, that's Pinhead from Hellraiser. Duh. If they're not true horror fans, you say, who's Doug Bradley? I'm like, oh. And that's how you can really tell they're not horror fans. But, it upset me because I've seen all the Hellraiser movies, and then there's the the actual Hellraiser movies that revolve around the lament configuration, the puzzle box, and that, and Pinhead's in. And then you have that one movie, is it Lance Hendricks did, where he drugs these kids and puts them in the ground in different coffins and subjects them to hallucinations to think that they're being hunted by Pinhead in his gash, and they really aren't. I think it was to get revenge for what they did to his son or something. It's been a while, but Doug Bradley, of course, he made a cameo in that when the father finds out. Yeah, Pinhead's real. Yeah, the gash is real. The lament configuration's real. And he had Chatterer, or as I call him, Chatterbox. He always reminds me of those chattering teeth. I originally, before I learned about his history, thought his name was Chatterbox, and I honestly thought his was because he ran his mouth. And I figured, well, I guess they cut out his tongue, and as punishment for constantly running his mouth, he forever as his torment. But no, it's because he's actually a little kid that by accident got pulled in. He solved the box on accident, just a little boy, and was tortured in that and turned into Pinhead's right-hand man. And kudos to that. But then I had found out that I'm pretty sure, is it that one? Well, Doug Bradley was in it nonetheless, even if it was just in some brief cameos and that. And then I watched Hellraiser Revelations. All right, I'm going to say it right now. The guy they have playing Pinhead, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the shape of his face. But when I look at him, I don't know if you adults out there who have kids like I do remember this series, iCarly, or even young nieces and nephews. Well, they're older now, but then they weren't. Watched iCarly and remember Carly Shay's one friend that emphasized on his name like it was his calling card, Gibby. Every time I look at the guy playing Pinhead in Revelations, that's what I see. I think it's Gibby in a Halloween costume as Pinhead. Don't get me wrong, the way the guy carries his lines and that, and kudos, but dude's face is all wrong. It just is so wrong. I got a fat face, I'll admit it, as you can see. But I don't know. His cheekbones are too pronounced. His jaw's too rounded. His head's too mushroomy shaped. The makeup sucked. It looked like they did the texturing for the cuts in his head and went over it with a red and black Sharpies. Pinhead's gashes weren't red, they were scars, They had healed. That really bothered me. I don't know where they found the guy. I don't know what made them think, oh, that's Pinhead. That's Pinhead. That's not Pinhead. Again, I'll say it. That dude looks like Gibby dressed up for Halloween. it sucked. The story sucked. The movie sucked. His line, he did his lines well, but the dude just sucked otherwise. The way he said his lines, I even watched a video where he's doing dialogue, in full, from the movie. And don't get me wrong, the guy, I guess, did good dialogue. But he just plain up sucked. There cannot be another Pinhead. For the nostalgia part, because I grew up with Doug Bradley. But, I'm not one of those that say, oh, no other actor can touch his blah, blah, blah. No one can recapture his version of Pinhead. That's what I'm saying. Could they do a follow-up to him and get a convincing Pinhead? Yes. We all know about Hellraiser Judgment. We all know about the Doug Bradley and writer, director, who was his friend, fallout. We all know about that. And that's not what this is about. Who cares? They had a fallout, friendship soured. It happens. My thing is, and trust me, I love Doug Bradley. He's Pinhead. I'm not saying that. He'll always be Pinhead to me. Other people, yes, they can find someone who can step into that character, who fits the build and facialing and the carrying and the mannerism and that. He's not going to be Doug Bradley, and I'm not saying he'll ever be, but the guy who played, I think his name's Paul, played Pinhead in Judgment. He did a good job. His face wasn't too rounded. It wasn't, his cheekbones didn't stick out too far. His chin wasn't too appled out. His head didn't look like a mushroom. Honestly, the dude who played him in Revelations, it looked like someone left a rubber band or a belt around his head too long as a child. But the guy who played him in Judgment, again, he's not Doug Bradley. And I'm not bashing the dude. Dude did a great job. He fit him so well. He looked like him. I kind of didn't care for the whole open ribcage thing. That's just like a little too much, The slices along either side of the ribcage with the blood flowing down, that's Doug Bradley. The other, I can accept it though. It's a little much, but I can accept it, as it's supposed to be Pinhead, but it's not Doug Bradley's Pinhead. So, I can go with it. But, he did a great job. He did a great job with what he was given. Just go back and watch even clips from Revelations and compare Revelations Pinhead to Judgment's Pinhead. And I think you'll agree. The guy that played Pinhead in Judgment at least looked more like Pinhead than the guy in Revelations. But that's enough for Larry's topics. I just wanted to put that out there. And again, as I've been saying, please like, subscribe if you want. We'll keep having interesting topics so long as I can think of them. Or you can suggest a topic. Please leave your comments below if you choose. Tell me your opinion. Tell me ideas for videos so I can think about them. Again, 2020 has been a nightmare. Stay safe, stay well, God bless, and Merry Christmas. Bye.